So here at the sanctuary, we've been rescuing seal pups for over 60 years. We cover mostly Cornwall. We do get pups from further afield every now and again, but the majority of our pups are from around the Cornish coastline. It all really starts with a phone call from a member of the public down at the beach who spotted a seal they're concerned about, and we'll go down, check out the situation and see if it's okay.
That's Atty or Atlanta. She's completely blind, that's how she was rescued. She usually keeps for herself a little bit in the pool, but she likes to do handstands. So sometimes in the afternoon, if you walk just past the pool, you'll see her flippers like just up, and nothing else, just her flippers. It's quite funny. And she's completely bald, so she's actually like quite recognisable from the others. Ayla is the third one along from the left here. And she likes to spend time at the underwater viewing. When you go past her in the morning or even in the afternoon, she might greet you from there. It's quite funny. She's known to socialise with dogs at the window, which is quite funny. Ray in the corner is our only male.
Ray is one of the fan favourites here at the sanctuary, and when Ray was a pup, we think he got caught out in a big wave, landed on some rocks, and he actually has a minor degree of brain damage. He came into us with a skull fracture. Now what that means for Ray is that he's incredibly friendly and he's a very, very playful seal. He's always up to no good. He likes to do things like pirouettes in the water, roly-polies around the pool. He does a really good rocking horse impression as well.
He doesn't really have the natural instinct what a male seal would have. And every year he tries to actually get it on with Sheba. So he does try, but he doesn't really get to the actual point that he does something. He just like spends time next to her and gives her a bit of a cuddle and stuff. Sheba is the really, really pale seal in this first cave bit. She's actually 45 years old. If I tell you that a seal goes up to 30 years old, it's kind of their maximum age. She's way over that. She was rescued by Ken Jones, our founder, so she's actually quite an important figure in a seal sanctuary.
We're an old site. We've been here since 1975. Before then, we were actually using our founder's back garden up in St Agnes. Being such an old site, of course, we do have lots of things that we'd like to get up to date, and pool renovation work is really going to be one of our biggest focuses in the next few years.
At the moment, she's out of the pool because she's molting, so she just wants to be on her own and shed her old fur and get a nice new coat. On the side here we've got Willow. It's our most mischievous seal that we have.
Willow is probably the biggest nuisance here at the sanctuary. Two of her favourite activities include trying to steal our brooms or going to sleep on our hose pipes when we're cleaning out the pools. And to be honest, if you see any seal hanging off the end of one of our welly boots here at the sanctuary, that is probably going to be Willow.
But she's quite playful. That is Atty, she likes clapping, by the way, as well. That's kind of to tell that everyone has to go away from her. So that's why she's clapping. You can hear it a lot in the afternoon. She likes to be by herself, having a rest. So in general, I'll just start with the fact that I love animals. I've always worked with animals, and even when I was younger, I just spent time with animals. Mostly with horses then, when I was really young. I chose to do animal care back in Belgium. And I've always liked marine mammals and marine animals, and because of the fact you also have the part of conservation here, so you get to work with the seals here and the sea lions and otters, penguins and all the rest, and the paddock animals. I just like the fact that it's a sanctuary.
The sanctuary is a fantastic place to work. I've been here for 6 years now, and getting to see the animals every day is incredibly special. So I think I'll probably end up staying as long as they'll have me. It's an incredibly fun place to work, and there's a lot worse things I could be doing, definitely. In the hospital, as well as treating the pups for whatever they need, we're also going to introduce them to swimming and to eating fish as well. So it's really important up in the hospital where we can keep a very close eye on them to make sure that they're not struggling at all. Because once they go outside, once they finish their treatment, we're going to move them down to our nursery pools, which is where they actually get to meet the other pups going through rehabilitation.
Once they actually finish that treatment and have a good weight, which is around 20 kilos, is kind of the target weight in the hospital. So if we consider them as heavy enough and healthy enough to move down here, which is usually when they finished treatment in the hospital. We try to put down the same pups that are kind of in the same stage, so if you have a pup that is a bit slower at feeding, we'll put it together with another pup that is at the same, feeding about at the same speed. How we feed this pool is just really simple and easy. We just throw in the food from a distance. So we stand up there and we stand a bit back so they can't really see us in the buckets, and we throw the fish from a distance, and they just pick it up and eat it. In the beginning they kind of rip the fish, and if they get really quick and really good at it, they just eat the fish whole, and they just get quicker and quicker. And when they're up to a good weight, they move to the rehab pool. This pool is a pool we use right before release. So when we're planning to release them, we can really easily empty the rehab pool. So we have 2 huge drains, which if we just open them, the pool drains in a few minutes. So we can load up the animals and release them.
Pups that we've released have been spotted all around, up in Scotland, down in Belgium, France, over in Ireland as well. And we're also still monitoring seals from many years ago who are growing up and having pups of their own. And that is really why we do the work that we do. Not just helping out the individual animals, but trying to make sure the numbers stay nice and healthy around the UK as well.
So we've got Squitch in here. Squitch is the youngest of all, and he's the most enthusiastic character because he's quite young. He just likes to hang around you. I remember last year we did a DNA test because you can't really tell with Humboldt penguins what sex they are. So Squitch turned out to be a male, which we're all cheerful about. We were like guessing and guessing, but he's a little guy, and he's still sorting out how far he can go with you as well. So he tries to sometimes like cheekily run out the door. If you're trying to feed and you walk out the door, he'll sneak with you. That's how he's learning. That's just his cheeky, how do you say, he's a bit of a teenager. Gilbert and Lola had a baby together, which is Squitch. They were not very good parents, so they were a bit clumsy. So that's why the animal care team stepped in to help Squitch out. Gilbert is actually quite a bit of a bold penguin. He'll just squeeze in. When you feed him, he'll squeeze in and get fish first. And then we've got Lola. Lola is his wife, I would say. And she's got a blue wing-band. And Lola is quite funny about catching fish. Sometimes she likes to have a bit of fish thrown to her so she can catch her from the air. Pine is also quite a bit of a funny, playful penguin. And Pine likes to sneak out as well. So if you've finished feeding and you're trying to walk out the door, Pine or Squidge will try to walk out with you. And then his wife, Yoni. She came over from Belgium, and she's quite a bit of a calmer character. She's sometimes a little bit shy. She's not as bold as the others, but she'll be around somewhere kind of more politely waiting in the back doing a feed. So and then we've got another couple, is Ivy and Piran. Piran is kind of like befriended with Pine. The 2 males like to get along, and they're quite playful together as well. He's quite a soft character. He's a little bit clumsy. And Ivy can be quite a bit of feisty penguin sometimes. It's just the way how she grabs the fish. She can catch her fingers sometimes. She's a bit pecky. And last one I'll mention to you is Waddles. Waddles is personally my favourite. If you see the group of penguins in front of you when you're feeding, he'll be out the back on the rock waiting. He's quite polite. He likes to catch fish out of the water as well. Even actually for Waddles it doesn't matter. He'll pick them even up from the floor. And that's a special thing because most penguins here, they don't really like picking it up from the floor. They're quite picky about their fish. It has to be a nice good shaped fish until they take it. So, but Waddles is the easy one. He's not fussy at all. He'll clean up from the floor sometimes, and he loves just catching it in the water.
We have regular beach cleans around Cornwall, which is really important. Of course, one of the issues that we see with our seal pups that we rescue here at the sanctuary is from pollution and litter. In particular, how that can affect seals is things like netting entanglement, which causes some very, very nasty injuries, some of the worst I've ever seen on an animal. But you don't have to come down to an organised beach clean, you can do it yourself. We like to encourage people to do a 2-minute beach clean. It's as easy as it sounds. Once you've had some fun playing around the sun, the sand, the sea, down at the beach, just spend 2 minutes at the end of the day, have a little look around. If there's anything that shouldn't be there, particularly plastics, anything like rope, netting, pick it up, pop it in the nearest bin, or bring it to a recycling facility, and you really will be saving the lives of seals out at sea. So you don't just have to come along to the sanctuary to get involved. Keep an eye out on things like our Facebook page, our website as well. We've always got things going on.